We are also moving towards the code completion on the management of key rotation. So all the affected libraries have been internally reviewed, and we are addressing all the comments. And also, we are working on two important topics regarding non-ceasing sidechain, implementation of a solution to manage the check of transaction fees, and we are writing a detailed design document to improve the verification of consecutive certificates submitted to mempool, always by non-ceasable sidechain. So we are in talks with our third-party auditor partners to provide detailed description of the code changes, and the plan is to perform a formal audit on this modification. Then, for what regards Blaze, basic test activity of release 050 are in progress, and we are also executing stress tests to measure the maximum number of transactions per second. In this specifically, we are mostly focused on evaluating the impacts on the final performance by changing basically network latency, transaction size, transaction complexity, and so on. So we are evaluating the impacts by tuning these different parameters on the final results and check if everything is as expected. We are also working on the architecture and the technical requirements of defining a secure enclave. A secure enclave is basically a module which isolates at CPU hardware level the execution of critical application code and the data needed to run that code. So this is needed to provide the highest security standard, and basically one use case is for our SDK team to protect private key and signature of certificates, okay, for our side chains. So we are working on the definition interface along with the infrastructure team. Other SDK activity are the improvement of Sparks, and so analyzing the last security improvements came out from the last audit. Code is completed, reviewed, and will be included in the next SDK 060 release. Also, regarding Blaze, we are working on the issue and clarification that came out from the smart contract team testing activity, and specifically we are focusing on some missing remote calls. Development is in progress. Another issue related to external tool compatibility, for instance, Truffle, they will be tested once the testnet M2 release on testnet will be available for internal testing. Other activity regarding Python test coverage, and we are providing documentation for external tool compatibility usage. These activities in progress. Last updates regard the accomplishment of the week of Proving System team. Of course, Proving System is involved in the review of key rotation feature, and we are working along with all the other teams with addressing the review comments. Other work stream related to Plonky 2, we're enhancing the prototype. So we had the prototype implementing endless recursion, so we are enhancing with various configurations. And also working on two important topics regarding RISC-0. So writing a coprocessor for unsigned integer 256-bit arithmetic, and memory validation for computing RISC-0 verifier operation. So we want to achieve a complete background of the verifier and the prediction of Plonky 2 RISC-0. Okay, so these were the update for the engineering department. Back to you.
Thank you, Roberto. Now I would like to welcome Victor and Angie for the product document updates. Welcome, Victor.
Thank you, Erika. Let's start from the VM sidechain. As already Roberto was mentioning, we have started addressing the security improvements that have impacted our timeline on this project, starting from a new signing tool that is required for the whole secure enclave new feature that will bring additional security and a trusted execution environment for signing the certificates. Moreover, it's been a while since our tools team is working on a dedicated faucet for the VM sidechain. This way it will be easier for those who have to bring, let's say, some money EVM sidechain, given that the additional step that is heavily documented for token mint, for example, that was using Sphere to move some Zen from the main chain to the sidechain is not required, at least for basic operations, let's say, for example, for testing contracts in testnet. Moreover, for the text testing activities, we are proceeding on several sides. Let's say, for example, we starting from the feedbacks we have received from the smart contract team, we have engaged them again, given that a new milestone is out, milestone 2 for the EVM, that is code complete and should bring also fixes to what they have previously tested. We are using them because they are deeply experienced users of our of the frameworks we are targeting, like for example Truffle, and you can see it also in the slide that I have shared in a tweet. That let's say the list of the frameworks that we aim to target is very long, or at least that no one of the big names is missing. On the other side, we are testing also the new features that are introduced with the new version of Blaze that was released, 050, not 060, that is the one that we are developing currently, because the VM is finally aligned with that official release. So we have inherited with the VM sidechain all the new features that comes with 050, together with the ability to make forks using the fork manager. Also, our public documentation is moving forward because we are also benefiting from all those testing activities, because they are bringing examples in our official documentation that is being worked on recently. The last update I have for you is that product and engineering team are working close to close the loop on some low-level details around sidechain to sidechain. That is the protocol for moving assets from one sidechain to the other, or basic messages. Because we have started understanding what is really required from the low level, and there were some details that were still requiring some brainstorming sessions, and we are now closing the loop. That's all from me. What about you, Angie?
Thank you, Victor, and hi, everybody. Happy Monday. So a couple of updates on Token Mint. We are now still ongoing with the audit of the NFT functionality, soon to be released on mainnet. So the audit is a very important dependency for us to be able to launch to mainnet. So good progress on that. And please remember that there's various repositories, and the whole stack needs to be audited before anything goes live on mainnet. So this is very crucial for us to take into consideration. So making good progress on that front. And then we also, as last week was announced, we are also working together with Punk's Hero game. So already started seeing some adoption and downloads of Cobalt from the users and excitement from the community. I'm not sure if the marketing team has more updates on that, but also really excited to see Cobalt live and being used on the game, and users also adapting to our Web3 wallet as well. And also wanted to mention some of other current work streams ongoing, and these are related to support our EVM sidechain project. One of them has to do with Cobalt supporting EVM transactions. So we've started testing some of these interactions with Cobalt supporting EVM. It's still on a very early phase, but we want to make sure that our wallet is able to read and recognize transactions coming from the EVM. So a lot of work in progress on that side. Also to have the ability, for example, and again, this is all being developed right now and starting efforts on that, but the ability to pick and choose networks, let's say Token Mint network, EVM network in the future. So I'm sure there's going to be very interesting features coming up for Cobalt supporting the EVM project. Some other work streams include as well some of the EVM website that needs to be put together, as well as documentation, which is important for not only developers but for our community. So there's various work streams there going on to support the EVM project. And yeah, we will hope to share more updates with you all. Thank you, and back to you, Erika.
Thank you, Angie. And looks like we do have Pipeflare with us. If they would like to join us as a speaker to give us some updates on Punk's Hero, that would be amazing. But I will wait and see if we get that speaker request from them. As for marketing updates, we are currently working on releasing the community update as well as some new articles to the Horizen Academy. So be sure to look out for those. We'll be posting them on social this week. And then for the leadership updates, we'll be skipping those this week. So we'll be moving right into the live Q&A session now. So some of these questions look like they would be best for Rob, but he is currently out today due to his travel schedule. So it looks like the top question will be, let's see, let's start with what is the difficulty of developing on Zendu? And maybe one of our engineers could take that on, perhaps Roberto?
Well, yeah, okay. Well, develop, of course, Zendu is completely open source. And regarding the difficulty of developing, we do have a process in place, which starts with writing the Zen IP and submitting any improvement request on the platform. And even though it might look difficult at the beginning, so it's an iterative process. So everybody is welcome to provide some idea that will be refined with our experts. So there will be some mentors who will review and provide all the feedback, all the next steps that needs to be taken for this improvement request. And so it's not difficult. It's something we can help with, and it's open to everybody. And so that is the starting point. So providing some improvement request, and then we will guide all the developers who want to contribute in the community for all the next steps to being able to actually contribute to the code base.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the next question is, the Punks Hero game is fun. I can earn Punks token by playing it. Will you add more features like NFTs and more difficulties for more tokens? So we are currently looking at these options. So I'm glad that you asked this question. Unfortunately, it looks like Pipeflare is not able to speak, so we won't bring them up to kind of discuss that in more depth. But do keep following along. The game is still in beta, so we'll be adding more functionality and trying to add more feedback from the community as it comes into the game. So if there's something you want to see, just let us know. The best place to we have Pipeflare as a speaker. Did you want to go ahead, Jonathan? Hey,
Yeah,
Jonathan.
hey everybody. Hey, nice to chat. Yeah, so this is basically just the first stage. So we are actively looking to hear feedback from the community, which can involve the NFTs, which can involve other features inside of the games. So to answer your question, what are the new features? That will be based on what you tell us you want to see. So we've shared a link to a document where you can go and link your comments and leave your comments, and we read those. every day to see what people are saying. So if you have something you really want to see in the game, head over to the document, leave a comment, and our intent is to get through all of the comments and build everything that everybody wants. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you. That's fantastic. And are you able to maybe provide us with some updates on maybe activity in the game or leaderboards, etc.?
Yeah, so far we've seen really good results. We had a ton of people play. If you just clicked on the game last week, you could see that some people have even earned up to 12,000 points in a single week, 12,000 tokens in a single week, which is great. We looked at the Cobalt store on Brave and on Chrome. We've seen over 2,000 downloads, which is awesome in 7 days. And before it was, I think, maybe 5 or 10 downloads. And we've had 150 users, Pipeflare users, that have connected the Cobalt to their profile. So they not only downloaded it, but then they connected it to the game and they made some sort of transfer into the wallet. So for a 7-day period, I would say it's really successful. But again, it's just the first step, and we want to keep improving it and building new features to increase reasons for people to use Cobalt, play the game, and use the Punks tokens.
Wow, that is incredible. Thank you so much for the update, Jonathan. Okay, so the next and final question is, what is the marketing team working on? And I can go ahead and take that on. So the marketing team is working on a lot, especially focusing on the upcoming launch of our EVM sidechain, as well as additional functionality with NFTs in Token Mint. We are also working on a couple of articles around EVM to kind of add additional context to what we're doing and why we're doing it. And we're also working on the Q3 blog, so you guys should be seeing that soon. And a few other things that we're just not able to talk about yet, but be sure to follow along, and we'll be releasing more information as it comes available. And that is our update for today's Weekly Insider. If you guys didn't have your questions answered, feel free to join us on Discord. Links are on our social media page as well as our website. Feel free to ask the team there. We're usually around and able to help out with those questions. So that's it for the updates this week. Thank you all